Picture this for a second. You pull up to a red light, and the person next to you is driving what looks like $1 million supercar. The sleek curves, the aggressive stance, that unmistakable aura of pure performance. But here's the kicker. They paid less for their entire car than what most people spend on a used sedan. Sound impossible? Well, buckle up, because what I'm about to share with you is going to completely flip everything you thought you knew about electric vehicles on its head. We're talking about a car that costs just $10,595. Yeah, you heard that right. Not $100,000. Not $50,000. Just over 10 grand for something that'll smoke most sports cars at the traffic lights. And before you think this is some stripped-down golf cart with a fancy shell, let me stop you right there. This thing packs technology that would make luxury car owners weep into their overpriced leather seats. Now, you might be wondering how on earth anyone could build something like this without cutting massive corners. I mean, we've all seen those cheap knockoffs that look good in photos but fall apart the moment you actually drive them, right? But this is different. This is what happens when engineers throw out the rulebook and ask themselves one simple question. What if we could build a supercar for everyone? Think about your typical high-end sports car for a moment. Those Italian beauties that cost more than most people's houses? They're assembled from over 3,000 individual components, each one carefully crafted, many by hand. It's like building a Swiss watch the size of a car. Beautiful? Absolutely. Practical for mass production? Not even close. Just the body panels alone on one of those exotic machines will set a manufacturer back around $47,000 in materials and labor. And that's before they even start thinking about the engine, the interior, or any of the fancy electronics. But what if I told you there's a completely different way to build a car? Instead of 3,000 parts, imagine using just 847 precision-engineered components. That's not a typo. We're talking about slashing the parts count by more than 2/3. And here's where it gets really interesting. By simplifying the design this dramatically, the production costs for the body drop from $47,000 to just $3,200. That's a 93% reduction, folks. 93%! Now you might be thinking, okay, fewer parts, but doesn't that mean it's going to look like a box on wheels? Not even close. See, the secret sauce here isn't just about using fewer parts. It's about being smarter with how those parts are designed and manufactured. Ever heard of origami? You know, the Japanese art of paper folding? Well, imagine applying those same principles to metal. By folding and shaping metal sheets in revolutionary ways, engineers have figured out how to create those sexy, aerodynamic curves that make your heart race, while using 67% less material than traditional methods. Let me put that in perspective for you. Every single vehicle built this way saves approximately $43,800 just in materials. And we're not talking about compromising on looks or performance. The aerodynamics on this thing are insane. We're looking at a drag coefficient of just 0.19. For comparison, most high-performance sports cars struggle to get below 0.28. That super slippery shape doesn't just look good, it adds an extra 69 miles to every single charge. It's like getting $9,000 worth of battery capacity absolutely free. But wait, it gets even crazier. You know how luxury cars use all sorts of exotic materials like carbon fiber? That stuff costs around $223 per square foot. Beautiful material, incredibly strong, incredibly light, and incredibly expensive. Well, what if there was a composite material that costs just $11.80 per square foot? And what if that material was actually 127% stronger than steel and 45% lighter than aluminum? Here's where things get absolutely wild. This new composite material doesn't just match the performance of those expensive materials, it actually beats them in some ways. Remember those annoying little scratches and dings that seem to appear on your car out of nowhere? Well, this material can actually heal itself. I'm not making this up. Minor scratches literally disappear over time, like magic. This is technology you'd normally find on $300,000 hypercars, But here it is on a car that costs less than most people's annual vacation budget. And before you start wondering if this is all just theoretical nonsense, let me tell you about the production facilities. There's a factory in Texas that can pump out enough of this revolutionary material to build 2.4 million vehicles every single year. We're not talking about some boutique operation making a handful of cars for millionaires. This is mass production on a scale that makes traditional car manufacturing look like they're still in the Stone Age. Speaking of manufacturing, let's talk about how these cars actually get built. Traditional car makers, they're still doing things the old way. 23 separate body panels, each one individually crafted and assembled. The whole process takes over 800 minutes just for the body shell. That's more than 13 hours of production time before they even start thinking about the engine or interior. But with this new approach, entire body sections are molded as single pieces. What used to take 847 minutes now takes 12. 12 minutes. That's not a reduction. That's a complete reimagining of what car production can be. And here's the beautiful part. It's not just faster, it's actually more precise. The robots handling this assembly achieve a quality control rate of 99.7%. The industry standard? 67.3%. So not only are these cars being built 70 times faster, they're being built with fewer defects. Now, let's get to the part that really gets car enthusiasts excited: the performance. You'd think that at this price point, you'd be getting some weak little motor that struggles to merge onto the highway, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. We're talking about a dual motor setup that delivers genuine all-wheel drive. Not some fancy electronic traction control pretending to be all-wheel drive, but two separate motors, one for the front wheels and one for the rear. Together, these permanent magnet motors pump out 300 horsepower. 0 to 60, 6 seconds in normal mode. But here's where it gets interesting. Switch to performance mode, and you're looking at 0 to 60 in just 2.9 seconds. Let that sink in for a moment. 2.9 seconds. That's faster than cars that cost 30 times as much. The top speed is electronically limited to 147 miles per hour. But honestly, when are you ever going to need to go faster than that? The dual motor setup isn't just about straight line speed, though. It's constantly adjusting power between the front and rear wheels, giving you maximum grip in any condition. Driving in the rain. The system automatically adjusts. Hit a patch of ice? It's already compensating before you even realize you're sliding. This intelligent torque distribution reduces the risk of skidding by 40% compared to traditional rear-wheel or front-wheel drive cars. And here's something that'll save you money every single day: regenerative braking. Every time you slow down or go downhill, those motors flip into generator mode, pumping electricity back into the battery. The dual motor setup recaptures 30% more energy than a single motor system. Over the course of a year, that's about $800 in electricity. You're not buying from the grid. But perhaps the most impressive thing about this dual motor system is its durability. By splitting the workload between two motors, each one experiences 40% less wear than a single motor doing all the work. And if one motor ever does fail, the other one can still get you home. It's redundancy that you'd expect in an aircraft, not in an affordable car. Let me paint you a picture of what daily life with this car actually looks like. You wake up every morning to a fully charged vehicle. No more gas station runs. Your commute costs pennies instead of dollars. When you need to accelerate to merge or pass, you've got supercar performance at your fingertips. And when something goes wrong, well, things rarely go wrong because there are so few moving parts to break. The maintenance on this thing is almost non-existent. No oil changes, no transmission fluid, no timing belts, no spark plugs. The brake pads last practically forever because the regenerative braking does most of the work. The self-healing body means minor scratches take care of themselves. The motors are designed to last for hundreds of thousands of miles with minimal degradation. And let's talk about the technology inside for a moment. We're not just talking about going fast and saving money here. This car comes loaded with features that were science fiction just a few years ago. Professional-grade launch control for when you want to show off at the lights. Track mode for when you want to take it to a circuit on the weekend. Intelligent climate control that preconditions the cabin while it's still plugged in, so you never have to get into a freezing cold or blazing hot car again. The safety features are next level too. With sensors and cameras providing 360-degree awareness, the car can see things you might miss. Automatic emergency braking, lane keeping assistance, blind spot monitoring, all standard. Not expensive options, not part of some premium package, just standard equipment on a $10,000 car. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This all sounds too good to be true, right? Where's the catch? Well, here's the thing. There isn't one. This isn't about cutting corners or compromising on quality. It's about completely rethinking how cars are designed and built from the ground up. It's about using intelligence and innovation instead of just throwing money at problems. Think about your smartphone for a second. 20 years ago, a device with that much computing power would have cost millions and filled an entire room. Today, it fits in your pocket and costs a few $100. That's exactly what's happening with electric vehicles right now. The technology has matured, the production has scaled up, and suddenly what was once exclusive to the wealthy is available to everyone. This isn't just about one car or one company. This is about the entire automotive industry being forced to wake up and smell the coffee. When you can buy something this good for this price, why would anyone pay 10 times as much for something slower, less efficient, and more expensive to maintain? The old guard is scrambling to catch up, but they're still thinking in the old paradigms. They're still trying to figure out how to make their gas engines a little more efficient, their production lines a little faster. But the revolution has already happened. The future isn't coming. It's here, parked in driveways across the country, silently mocking every overpriced, overcomplicated vehicle that came before it. Every single person who buys one of these cars isn't just saving money. They're voting with their wallet for a different kind of future. A future where performance doesn't require a trust fund, where efficiency doesn't mean sacrifice, where innovation actually benefits regular people instead of just the ultra-wealthy. The really mind-blowing part? This is just the beginning. If engineers can build something this incredible for $10,000 today, imagine what they'll be able to do in 5 years, 10 years. The pace of innovation in this space is accelerating so fast it makes your head spin. Battery technology is improving, manufacturing techniques are getting more sophisticated, and artificial intelligence is making everything smarter and more efficient. We're standing at the edge of a transformation that's going to make the shift from horses to cars look like a minor upgrade. This isn't just about transportation. It's about freedom, accessibility, and democratizing technology that was once reserved for the elite. When a single parent working 2 jobs can afford the same performance as a tech millionaire, when a college student can own something that out-accelerates a Ferrari, when a retiree on a fixed income can drive something that costs virtually nothing to run, that's when you know the game has fundamentally changed. So here's my question for you, and I really want you to think about this. If you could walk into a dealership tomorrow and drive away in something that looks like $1 million, performs like a supercar, costs less to run than your monthly coffee budget, and helps save the planet while you're at it, all for the price of a used economy car, would you do it? Or would you stick with the old way of doing things, paying more for less, just because that's what we've always done? The choice seems pretty obvious to me. The revolution isn't coming, folks. It's here, it's real, and it's spectacular. Whether you're ready or not, the automotive world just changed forever. The only question is whether you're going to be part of the future or stuck in the past, watching everyone else zoom by in their affordable supercars while you're still pumping gas into yesterday's technology. If this completely blew your mind like it did mine, do me a favor and hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to hear about this revolution. And if you want to stay on top of the latest game-changing developments in technology and transportation, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. Because trust me, What's coming next is going to make even this look tame by comparison. The future is here, and it's absolutely incredible. Don't blink, or you might miss it.